This is my crash-damaged Renault Megane RS, or at least it was. After 3 days of repairs and mods, we got it back on the road. But I'm not done yet. There's still more to fix and more to upgrade to make this car track day ready.
I got straight to work stripping down the engine bay so I could fit my first mod, a K-Tech induction kit.
I have a new induction kit. I ordered this from K-Tech a little while ago.
That sucker down there. Also, when we drove the Megane 3 RS before, and it had a crazy intake noise. That is quick. I can work out why now, because the intake is there and your face is right there.
Yeah. But this is quite good. It's very solid and it all mounts to original bits, so that's very good. I've got the battery out on the battery tray and all sorts. Right now, I'm going through plugs. These are actually new-ish. I fitted these maybe the day after we did the rebuild. New coil packs. This car has a ever so slight misfire. Some people say, that's just a Megane, mate, don't worry about it. But I'm going to change everything. Injectors, engine, seats, windscreen,
chassis,
paint job. Just going to try and change everything because we're doing a track day next month.
Yep, we are.
At Landau, and I'm going to take this, and I don't want anything to go wrong. I don't want to drive 3 hours and then this goes, ooh, it's a limp mode.
Oh, sorry, mate. Did you wanted to drive me today?
You wanted to go, you wanted to go like it's a track. It's track, is it? Don't worry. So I'm going to change everything here. So I've got coil packs, injectors, and then I heard these plugs I put in a while ago, I didn't touch, but then for tuned cars, which this is, you're meant to gap them. But I bought us a little tool, which is this here, which I'll get to in a sec. But the gap we speak of, you can't probably really see it. It's basically, it's in here. So when people talk about a spark plug gap, they'll go, you want to gap that to 0.773747. And that is why you'll need something like this, which is a feeler gauge, which has got, or a thickness gauge in the big Chinese font.
Thickness.
And this will have all sorts of different thicknesses.
What's your favourite?
I quite like the very flimsy ones.
My favourite is 0.036.
I like
Can
the
you find
random.
that one,
this
please?
one's good because it's like a random gold tooth.
Oh, hello. Quite like that. There's a bit of like a
random.
Cockney gangsters.
He's a 0.25.
Oh, can I have?
It's like picking paints for your house.
I like this one. I like 0.48 mil. That's my favourite.
And you want that in the bathroom?
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. So when people say gap, that's what they mean basically. So you want to reduce that gap to 0.6, and that's something to do with spark getting blown out.
Yeah, you're getting your back blown out.
And reducing it reduces the chance of it being blown out by said things.
Your spark plug gap can affect if your spark plug is working right or not. If your gap is too big, the distance between the electrode and the kind of piece in the middle, I don't know what it's called. The nib. Sure, we'll go with that. The gap in between those two can get blown out if it's too big by the pressures inside the cylinder, and no one wants to get blown out. You need to gap it to the correct amount, so it is the correct amount of spark, so that it's most efficient and it works, because that could be your misfire.
Yeah.
Who knows?
The people on the internet and the forum say that when you use these plugs on a tuned car, you should be at 0.6, and I'm probably at like 0.8 right now. I think they're standard about 0.9. Now, the standard way I think to do this is people go,
yeah. That's
and then you check it and you keep doing it. But I am a millennial, and thus I am lazy.
You know what? When you showed me this, I was so confused. I've never seen this in my life.
So
look at this thing.
It just winds down on it. It winds down on it.
You wind back on it,
and then you do that. You're going to need to do it a few times. It's not the most malleable of things.
Bit of dirty wine.
And I've gone too far.
Too much?
Too far. How do I get it out? Surely this has something in it that gets it out.
So what is your size? What size do you want?
I want a 0.6, which is where I'm at now.
So you're a little bit.
So I've got a little bit of movement.
Just going to cinch him down.
It's about right.
So 0.6. That's your gap.
That's me, and then you can go back in. New coil packs, and then some injectors. I also need to do a thermostat, but we'll get to that. Possibly not today. Holy have introduced 3 new flavours, all inspired by summer cocktails, but without the booze. We have got Capybara Colada, Mojito Macaw, and my personal favourite, Daiquiri Dolphin. So we mixed up a little bit earlier. That is good.
Strawberry daiquiri in taste.
That is strawberry. That is summery as hell.
As usual with Holy, there are no rubbish ingredients. There's no taurine in it, and there's less than 20 calories per serving.
Now to get started, you can use Holy's Starter Set Deluxe Kit. That gives you 14 sachets with 7 of their best-selling flavours, so you can find out which one you like best.
Now each tub of Holy can make up to 50 servings of drink, and each one costs less than 80p. And it also cuts down on metal and plastic usage.
So if you want to support the channel, make sure you use code 2DC5 for £5 off your first order.
And then use code 2DC for any order after that.
Right, you joined me a couple of weeks later. Car is now back in here, now on the left. I have had a small breakdown.
You're missing a wheel, mate.
I am missing a wheel. I'll show you my wheel in a minute, because it's a little bit different. You might have spotted it earlier on. We had Shedfest, the sort of big Auto Alex and Co show. I was very excited to take this car with its new look and very, very clean and all kind of finished.
What car did you turn up in?
The Range Rover.
Oh, Oh.
I was meant to be there at, what, 9 a.m?
Oh yeah, 9 a.m.
And I got there, what, about 1, 2-ish?
1:30, yeah.
Yeah, so that was nice. This car had a clutch line popped off. Partly my fault, partly not my fault. I think it's fixed now because it's here. Now the wheels I mentioned, same wheels, now grey. No, they should be white. The rear ones I think are a bit more white.
There you go. There's the real colour.
So Edwin and I are now on full white on white.
White on white gang. We'd love to see it.
That is, I cleaned them not that long ago and they're already mucky, so there's going to be a lot of wheel cleaning. But on to some fixes. Now, after the main channel video went out, I had to do a few more brake bleeds to get the proper pedal feel, and I never really got it. That was partly to do with that clutch line that I fixed. I then bled the brakes and it was all looking good. In the process of doing that, I snapped a bleed nipple. Now, on these Brembos, they have 2 bleed nipples. A lot of you might be thinking you might be able to drill that out or extract that somehow, but most people say they're pretty impossible to get out, and if you do, you have to drill it, make it bigger, put a different bleed nipple in there. I don't like the sound of that with brakes, so instead, what I did, I bought a new caliper. Whoa! You can buy these direct from Renault. So you could buy a pair of these for about $440,
which is
$450.
That's mostly what people are charging for them used.
Yeah, pretty much. That's not bad at all. And it's not like refurbished or anything like that. It's brand spanking new. All the seals are fresh. All the pistons are fresh. Still got the seal in. It's perfection. And then what I'll probably do is see if I can rebuild that, maybe sell it at a later date. That is going to be nice. And then I can do a proper bleed and go from there. I may have some rear calipers to fit as well because I've got a slightly sticking one as well. But yeah, a couple more mods a bit later on. I'm going to get started on this first.
Next up, I removed the old front caliper to make way for the new one, while Edwin got started fitting the new Febby calipers at the rear.
Right, new caliper is on, so that is looking shiny and fresh and good. I've also put some new nipples in over there. So this is old caliper with the snapped off nipple. So you can see that one's not looking too good either. So basically, this is a new nipple. This is what I put in on the other side. You can see a little hole. You might be able to see a little hole there. So when you've got this tightened all the way down, no bleed. No fluid coming out, and then when you just crack it off a bit, that is when fluid starts to come through there and out of there. So we've got 2 new nipples on that caliper because I've had a look and the calipers are pretty, all the pistons and everything are pretty good. So new nipples here, new caliper with also fresh nipples as well. Quite uncomfortable using the word nipples this often. Only half the disc was being contacted by the brake pad, and that's because I think that one of those rear calipers was a little bit knackered. So Edwin has fitted 2 of the Febby ones. They're not reconditioned, they're not meshed together with old parts. They're proper OE matching brand new calipers. So now I should have a fresh braking setup, and now for the fluid.
We are now partnered with Motul for all of our fluid needs going forward. So I bled the brakes using RBF 660, a high performance brake fluid with a much higher boiling point than standard fluid. On track, your brakes get seriously hot, and if the fluid boils, you lose braking power. With the brakes bled, I moved on to replacing the soft, standard lower dog bone mount. And it's called that because it sort of looks like a dog bone, and it helps to stop your engine just wanging around when you accelerate. I'm fitting a stiffer one, which means less slop, better traction, and potentially quicker shifts, though it will probably make the car vibrate a bit more at idle. While the car was still up in the air, I swapped out the ancient-looking fuel filter. This is basically a strainer for your fuel. It stops any debris in the fuel from getting to the engine, and if it's clogged, it could definitely explain the running issues I've been having. I replaced it with a fresh Febby part and cracked the old one open to see what it looked like inside. I'll show you how bad it was in just a second. With all the underside jobs done, I got the car back on the ground and turned my attention to the injectors. On turbo cars like my Megane, you need to spray more fuel to match the extra air. If injectors fail, you can lose power or even risk engine damage. So I figured 4 fresh injectors would be a good idea. With the new injectors fitted into the rail, I dropped them back into the car and got everything reassembled.
Just finished fitting new injectors, exactly the same as these sort of OEM ones. Old ones, there was a slight rough running, and I want everything on this car to be good. So that's injectors, core packs, spark plugs, fuel filter, all done. Speaking of the fuel filter, you might have seen it earlier. I thought, let me cut open the old one and have a look. Look at that in there.
Oh my good God. Whoa, I haven't actually seen this. I've been away. That is, whoa.
Let's cut the new one open and see what's in there. But I can guarantee the new Febby one is going to look a lot better than
just bits of chuff coming out of it.
Shit coming out of it. So I think it should run at least a little bit.
Come on, surely.
At least a tiny bit better with that. All those bits have all been done. All of those bits are in. The engine mount is in. All the bits I just mentioned are all done now. So I'm going to take it home, and then at the end of the video, I'm going to show you a couple of mods I'm really, really pleased with. So we'll get to that. And here it is. The finished, I'm not going to say finished, because it's never ever going to be finished. The finished article.
It is. Yo, we're on white season.
We are white on white. We're now both white on white.
This is good.
Which is troublesome. They haven't been seen together yet.
No,
Maybe they'll
seen.
never be seen together.
Yeah.
But I've sort of cleaned the wheels. You'll have seen that up close in Ben's shots. It's not so clean. Very, very hard to keep clean, I'm finding.
Also, if there are people in the comments saying the silver was better, boo-hoo. White's
I don't
cool.
care. Never had white on white before. This is actually meant to be, I had this painted in the exact Renault paint.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe it doesn't translate to wheels as well.
But your 50 Shades of White, it's just another one to add to them. It's okay.
Brakes all bled, feeling much better now. Got a clutch pedal back after Shedfest. It's all working really, really well. And also overall, this car been very, very good. I've done quite a few, almost 1,000 miles in this car now. One small breakdown, which you're going to say it is a French problem. It wasn't. It was probably my fault because I've messed something up. Very, very annoying. We start under the bonnet. The K-Tech induction kit fitted a little while back now, but you were seeing that earlier. That sounds so much better. You get lots of whoosh. It's slightly annoying at some speeds. You're in
constant
at the motorway and you get constant boost.
Hey man,
I'm not that bothered by that though. It's not my daily.
It's for the love of the game.
Doesn't matter. But we've got new coil packs, properly gapped plugs, new injectors, and a new fuel filter.
Refreshed.
The fuel filter was absolutely manky. I've driven this since all doing that, and it is noticeably better.
Really?
Noticeably.
Oh, that's cool. That's
it
good.
Runs better. It idles better. My brand new caliper, my new nipples over there, and brand new Febby calipers out the back. So that means now they are wearing evenly. That's nice. Not got a big rusty strip on the rear brake discs. I haven't had a proper brake pedal in this since I've had it, and now I can brake with confidence once more. Yeah, no, I am
Just a petit peu.
a little bit of rubbing. So I've stiffened up the rear dampers to see what happens there.
Well, it's a track car, right?
Yeah.
And rubbing is?
Racing.
Rubbing's racing.
And eventually it'll clearance.
Self-clearance.
It will clearance.
It will clearance through the tyre onto the rim.
But my favourite mods that you haven't seen fitted in this video, what I'm about to show you, are actually my favourite ones of all. Before we get to my significant white knob that you're noticing right now, the steering wheel recovered by Royal Steering Wheels, which is very, very nice. It's Alcantara, which means I'm now conscious of any dirt on my hands making its way to that, so I'm going to spend every day brushing it and cleaning it. I also, quite poorly, did an Alcantara armrest.
Hey, it looks good to me.
From a distance, it's okay, but there's like tatty bits in the corner. I might get that redone, but from a distance,
It looks good.
I think it's okay.
It looks good. These at some point, are you still changing these?
Well, I've had a thought. I did think, I mentioned on the podcast actually before, that I might get these entirely recovered in full Alcantara. I might have changed my mind.
Oh.
I might get some OMP RT seats, like bucket seats.
Those are cool.
Because they've got like they've got Alcantara inserts, and they almost look like McLaren Senna seats.
Yeah, they are cool.
So I'm thinking about that. It's similar cost, all in.
Okay.
So I need to do think.
They would go very well with the Piesta resistance.
With the white thing. So this is a Cooler Works shifter, which is it's not actually a proper short shifter. It doesn't necessarily make the shift shorter at the gearbox end, but it makes the shift at this end feel super.
Please, could you demonstrate?
Look
at that.
There's just no, and also it's got a big spring here, which means it centers itself perfectly, and you've still got lockout and all of that stuff. Now there is a slight downside. You have to really butcher some of the plastics, which I've had to do down there just to fit it in.
What's the quote? There's no beauty without pain.
And
Such
I
is
know
life.
what, I'm not even feeling the pain.
No.
I'm only seeing the beauty.
It is very cool.
For daily driving, it's not as nice as a standard shifter, but when you're on it, that is perfect. It's a little bit higher, where you'd expect a shifter to be when you're driving quickly. The inside of this now is coming together.
I'm gonna say it. This car, I wasn't that big of a fan of Megans before we bought this, and even when you bought it, I was like, nah. I really like this now. Like, I really like this car.
I've only got a few more bits I really want to do. I want to get it properly set up, dial in the camber and the alignment properly, get that so it drives nicely. Maybe a rear seat delete, maybe a half cage, not sure, I don't know, it feels a bit silly, but sort out my solution for seats, and then
beat the piss out of it on track?
Beat the piss out of it. I think I'll beat the piss out of it up until then anyway, but there's a couple of cosmetic bits that I want to do. So you may well see those things in a future episode, but if you want to see where Edwin worked on his white E36, you can see that here, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.